Alright, 1 second. I'm gonna double check we're all good here. Okay. Alright. Sorry about that. So, I basically have had a show idea kind of for a little bit that I've been throwing around, and I decided I'd just kind of do sort of like a mock episode, just throw it out there and see what you guys think, and also I kind of just go from there and build it from the ground up. But basically, what my idea is, I think I decided to call it Riffin Fire. I don't even remember, to be honest. Yeah, I think that's what I decided to call it. I'm still building the show, so it is possible that the name changes. I don't know. I also thought about Cup of Chaos. I put a sticky note on there because I want to like actually write that on there, but make it look cool. Eventually, but basically, for this episode, I just went to my Fire from Heaven Spotify profile and I just wrote down a bunch of band names that are related artists to what I do, and I just put them in here. I wrote them on a little piece of paper, folded up, threw it in there. And basically what the idea is, I'll draw, band name from the cup, check out their music, do like 60 seconds, to check out the music. And then, I don't know, if I decide I want to listen to the rest from there, I will, maybe. Or, just kind of whatever. But the idea is that bands will submit, and then I'll check out their music, So bands I'm going to work on a way, this next week or so, to set up a way where bands can go and they'll do a little bit of a, filling out some submission, like what their song is and stuff. And it's not just exclusive for bands. It's for, artists, or if you're just a musician looking for a band or something, maybe this can be a way that you find a band. You can basically, if you want, you can record a video showcasing, what you do and stuff, and then I plan to do it as a live kind of show. The dream is to do it as like a live, like, we're actually, with the live audience and everything, and just have random people come up. And I don't know, I wanted to do something that was very off the cuff and unfiltered, and really the only criteria is that you do metal rock kind of music, just heavy music. That's really the only thing. Is with music, it has to kind of be, kind of by genre, because I don't know anything about pop music or whatever, you know what I mean? So, doing it just for metal, and metal, just heavy music, metal, kind of the criteria is, something heavy, like guitars, heavy, basically just something in the realm of metal and rock, okay? Basically is what I'm saying. Now, let's see, I'm trying to think. It's going to be very off the cuff and live like this. Unedited, really. Unscripted. I think there was maybe one or two band names that I recognized in the list of bands that I put in this cup, this giant coffee cup of chaos. But that's about it. I didn't really recognize any of the names, and I only checked out a few just for like half a second to just make sure they were metal, metal or rock, basically. Pretty much all of them are like heavy metal. similar to what I do. But I just want to kind of do some kind of, give an example. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'll pull from the Cup of Chaos, check out the band. I'll just probably check out their top song or something for 60 seconds or longer. And then for the actual episodes, what I'm hoping to set up is a way where I can do a quick video call with the band member, or at least some kind of audio call, and do a short kind of off the cuff interview, hey, what's your favorite color, or things like that. No, just whatever random questions come into my mind. I'm not really gonna be prepared for whoever I'm interviewing, so it's gonna be as much chaotic and crazy for me as it is for whoever's gonna be a part of it. So I don't know, I just say it's gonna be fun. And like I say, the only criteria is that you're metal or rock. So if you're watching this and you're thinking you want to submit, whenever I set all that up, I put my email in the description. And if you're thinking you're going to be interested, go ahead and email me that you are. And I'll write your band name down on a list, and I'll make sure to email you whenever I kind of get things more set up for the actual way I want to do the show and everything. But basically, I'm just kind of, what's the word? I'm kind of, there's basically what inspired this is a crazy comedy show where people basically, comics get pulled out of a bucket. They get a chance to come up and showcase what they do. And some really talented people have been discovered that way. And I'm just kind of annoyed with the music industry because there's always certain stupid criteria that you have to meet in order to be part of things like this, or it's first come, first serve kind of thing, or reaction channels do a lot of great work, but it is kind of frustrating when you kind of you reach out and stuff and people say they're going to do something and they don't do it, or you're just on a massive wait list, because they do it for free, or you have to freaking buy in. I understand, not everything's free in life, but I wanted to do something where it's free, any band can submit, and I'll check out their music and give them some kind of platform to be heard, I don't have a big platform, I'm streaming this on my YouTube with 1,600 subscribers. I don't have a massive platform, but I have something, so I just wanted to give back to the community in some way, I put out over 10 albums, so that's quite a bit to the metal community, but I wanted to do something else, and do something for my fellow artists, trying to, get their art out there and inspire people as well, and just share what they do, Everybody just wants to share a bit of what they do, and it's just, I don't know, a lot of annoying things in the music industry that just bother me, and I just wanted to do something that's raw, unfiltered, uncut, and just off the cuff. It's too cut and copy and paste crap, Sick of that garbage. Freaking give me something raw, man. You know what I mean? So that's what I want this to be. I know I'm starting it from the ground up, so there's a long ways to go, and I don't even know if anyone's watching right now. So, and obviously I don't have the best setup and everything either, but I'm just the kind of guy that just does, you know what I mean? So, we're starting here. So now, do a bit of an example of what I'm going to do here. And, man, I wish I could have, sound effects, stuff like that, like a drum roll or something, But this is raw, unedited, unfiltered, and I don't know how to set up all that live stuff, okay? So, drawing from the Cup of Chaos, the first ever Riffin Fire, Cup of Chaos, Coffee Bucket Pull. And no, I wasn't looking. I'm just kind of mixing it up here because I didn't do that yet. All right. Close my eyes. First, pull from the Cup of Chaos. Pharaoh Hound. All right. So now, I'm going to pull that up real quick. I apologize. My computer's a little slow. All right. Gonna give it about 60 seconds. And what would happen in an actual episode is afterwards, excuse me, I would, I'm thinking in the submission form, I'll have some way, be like, well, one of the things is like, if you're submitting, please be present for the live stream this day, you know, because you might get pulled, and so I can interview you and stuff like that, you know, a quick interview. So it's one thing I was thinking of mentioning, and then a way to contact you if you're a band that, you know, puts in a submission. So, and there's no criteria for this. If you get pulled, I'm going to listen to your music and I'm going to interview you if you're willing to. You know, I don't want to make anyone do it, you know, but I don't know. I'm still figuring stuff out, you know. I am kind of thinking of making that part of the requirement. If you're going to submit, then be available to be part of the show, you know what I mean? That's the whole point. So I might actually make it like that. So if you're an introverted person, you don't like interviews, get over it, because I am too. And it's going to be uncomfortable for me too whenever I do it, you know, but this is just something I feel like the industry needs, is something like this, you know, even though I'm just an underground artist with 1,600 subscribers, you know. Who knows what it could grow into? Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. Maybe this is the only episode I record. Who knows? You gotta just, when you have ideas, you gotta freaking take some action and do something with it. So, anyways, first pull, Pharaoh Hound. I'm gonna listen to the music for 60 seconds, maybe more. And then, again, for actual episode, I would like, I don't know, call up or video call or something a band member or the whole band if they want to be present or whatever, and you know, just ask them some random questions off the cuff, like what inspired your band name, or what the frick is this art, or whatever, you know. All right, anyways, I'm gonna do their top song that's the most popular, Malice Over Mercy. And again, if it, you know, for an actual episode, the band will be able to pick whatever song they want. So, let's go. I'd like to start. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to restart it because I'm just going to let the music play. I'm not going to comment or say anything. So that's why I'm restarting, because I commented almost like I'm doing a reaction. Not going to do that. Just going to listen. Just let the music play. All right? Past 60 seconds, but let's hear where this goes. I like this riff. Alright. That was freaking sick. This band has 507 monthly listeners. That's some freaking good music. Those are some sick riffs. I like the sound of the music. It's raw, got that freaking metal energy. This should be having a lot more people listen to it. You see what I mean? This is why I'm doing this. And also, this is a mock episode. I just picked the bands myself that were related to the music I do. I wonder why they sound so good. No, it's actually based on the listener base, I think. So people listen to me also listen to these guys and other bands that I put in this cup, which I did a lot. Actually, I didn't realize that was there. So that was good. So what I would do now is basically call up the band in some way. Gonna figure that out. This is a very off the cuff show. They say I don't even know what I'm doing, but this is my idea. And if you are from this band and you're like, holy crap, I wish I could have been interviewed or something, you can email me and we'll interview you later or something, Bring it back on for another episode or just do another separate video or whatever. And I'm not planning on this being like a crazy wild interview. You know what I mean? Like it's just a chill, interview. I may ask something about like what I said earlier, what the frick is that art? It's like a horde of demons or something. That riff is sick. What gave you that idea? Something like that or whatever. Or what inspired the name of your band? That might be a common question, Or, what is the specific song about that you submitted? Or, kind of things like that. You can be kind of prepared for some things, but I might ask you some off the questions like, what's something crazy you've done in your life? Or, just whatever, like they're not, like, no rules for this, just be a metal band or artist or musician. You could be someone who just plays drums and submits a video of you doing a cover or just playing the drums of kicking butt. And that could be a chance for you to showcase that you're a drummer. And if you want, maybe there can be an option where you'd be like, can you mention, like in the form, is there anything you want me to mention if you get pulled and stuff like that? But of course, I'll do the interview. So I could, you could be like, hey, I'm looking for a band in this area or something like that, or members or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, just want this to be a place to inspire more music. It's just really frustrating in the scene when you're trying to make it and you're trying to, like reach out to people who have platforms and stuff like that. And it's just really frustrating sometimes, a lot of times, just because of the way things are set up, you know what I mean? And it's just, if there's not certain criteria, you have to be this or that, or you have to sound like this or that, or you have to fit my ears. Even if that didn't fit my ears, someone who was listening might have liked it. And someone who's listening might have liked to hear a little bit from the band. And someone who's listening might want to go and check out the band. They never even heard it, It's like, I don't want it to be about my opinion of the music. I just want to give people a chance to share the music. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm going to be like, hey, I thought that was sick, or here's a few pointers or things you could do to make things better. You know what I mean? But, I don't want to be that just annoying freaking gatekeeper who has a platform and the opportunity to change lives and freaking doesn't for whatever freaking stupid reason. You can obviously tell this frustrates me. So, that's why I'm freaking doing this. If there's a problem that ticks you off in the world, maybe you're the one who should do something about it and stop complaining. So, let's move on. Alright. Man, forgot to get some coffee before I started this. If anyone has a different idea for the name of the show, let me know. I thought about calling it Cup of Chaos. I don't know. maybe do something like a vote or something. If anyone has any ideas, let me know. Otherwise, I'm not totally for sure on Riffin Fire or Fire Riffin, whatever I decided. I was throwing around a lot of names and ideas before I went live. I've had this idea in my head for a while, but I haven't really thought a lot about names. So, excuse me. Obviously, a name is really important, but it's also like, I don't know, I feel like it reflects the nature of the show a little bit. Like, you're just riffing, it's just off the cuff, go as you go, the kind of thing, So, we are going to do another pull from the cup of chaos. Here we go. Dirk. Let's check out Dirk. And I don't have like a specific format for the show yet. This one might be hard to find. Dirk. Oh yeah, I remember the profile picture. All right. We are going to check out Dirk Ritus. What was I saying before that? I don't remember. What? Yeah. All right. Let's go. Need coffee. This is called Right. All right, that was a minute, 6 seconds. Let's just hear a little bit more. All right, that was good. Right out the gate with a sick riff. Let's hear that again. So yeah, another prime example of why I'm doing this. This band has 760 monthly listeners. I forgot I was also gonna start a playlist adding bands that feature on this show. Let me go back real quick, just so I make sure to add the first band, Pharaoh Hound. All right. Again, this would be, part where I would like call up the band, interview them, stuff. You know what I could do? Just read a little bit of the about section. Dirk began his guitar career with the band Sentient since 2008 and later joined Hellcrust in late 2018. He then started this solo project in late 2020 to fulfill his passion in making music he likes independently. Yeah. Heck yeah. Independence. Don't freaking need labels. I'm just kidding. Nothing wrong with labels. But that's sick, Writing music. Solo, like what I do. Dirk, that was sick. Again, if you're watching this, if you're a band that's featured on this first episode, you want to be, have like I'm kind of thinking it'll be sort of like a 5 to 10 minute interview. Kind of try to keep it within that, amount of time. I don't know why it took so long to think of that. But, just, we'll keep it 5 to 10 minutes, unless you're really interesting and have a lot to share or whatever. I don't know. I'm trying, I'm sick of, like I've been rambling about, like, just a lot of bias and a lot of just annoying criteria and all that, you know what I mean? Like, give people a chance to hear the music, decide for themselves. People don't need to be constantly spoon-fed what you think is good or not good, you know what I mean? Just freaking give people a platform to just be heard sometimes, I believe bands can do a lot of work to change that for themselves, you know what I mean? But, I think if we did more things like this to help each other, we could change a lot of things for each other, There could be a massive explosion of metal music, even though there is a really, metal music is exploding right now and just becoming more mainstream and all that. Kind of the thing now, I feel like, is a lot of metal bands with just that raw metal energy just aren't on the radar, as much as these bands with super processed music. I like it as much as anyone else, the modern metal stuff with all the techie sounds and electronic stuff and the really, really fluid playing and all that. But it's just frankly, a lot of artificiality, and we're kind of sick of that in 2025. Give us something freaking real. You know what I mean? Sick of it. Sick of the artificial plastic crap that's not metal. Okay? Understand? Modern metal's still sick, and it's still metal. I'm not a freaking that kind of person, I still jam it. But just the raw energy and talent, just a sick riff like that, this band did, and the other band, is very much overlooked today. It's like, oh, that sounds like whatever, like freaking 80s death metal or whatever. Like, yeah, that was good, And it's like, things have to sound a certain way today in order to be good or to be picked up, and shared and stuff like that on some of these, big, like for bigger platforms, people with bigger platforms and stuff like that. Like, it has to sound a certain way, and it's like, that's ridiculous. Metal is metal because metal is about, just a lot of it is just the attitude of being different, freaking just raw energy, like, I'm getting off on a rant here, but I think it's just it's really filtered in like what gets out, you know what I mean, on some of these bigger platforms and channels and stuff like that. And if you don't have the money to buy in, then you're not going to be heard, or if they just don't like what you have to offer, then you're not going to be heard. And it's very filtered, and just freaking let people decide what is good. You know what I mean? Why does this idiot get to decide what's good and what gets to be heard and what's popular in the scene right now, Just because he freaking reacted to a bunch of music or something, Not going after them for reacting. I'm not trying to insult and say reactors don't do any work and stuff like that. It's just frustrating, okay? Coming at it from being an artist myself is stupid and annoying. Okay. On to next cup of chaos poll. Let's get down there to the bottom a little bit. All right. Man as Plague. Let's go. What is this? The third one? Third one. I don't know how many I'm going to do. I don't know how long I've been live. Let's see. 30 minutes? Yeah, I'm not sure how long I want to make these episodes. Maybe like an hour or something. I don't know. Need to get my watch time up. Let's see. Alright, so the first song name is called Titanomachy. Like me some mythology-inspired metal. It's freaking metal as crap. So, let's check it out. Again, Mana's Plague, Titanomachy. $210 monthly listeners. Alright, that's 60 seconds. Let's go. Nice. Another freaking kick butt band. You know what I mean? 210 monthly listeners. Like, that sounded better than me. That I really like the vocals. Just the way they were layered and everything. I don't really layer my vocals. That's probably why it sounded better. That was sick. I kind of am curious to check out the lyrics just because it's mythology inspired, at least by the title. Titanomachy. There's a song called Sisyphus. Morpheus, Prometheus, Kronos. Those all probably are sick as well. So I'm definitely going to be coming back and checking out this band some more. And I'm going to add this to a playlist. And I'll link the playlist either like in this video after or like in a post or something. And yeah, that was great. And I'm probably going to get old saying this, but that's why I decided to do this, you know. That was great. Enjoyed it. And I'm just going to mention this kind of, if you're the band or, you know, a member of the band, whatever. I put my email in the description of this video. It looks like it's a full band. This one is. Mana's Plague is a ferocious metal foursome. Nice name, or nice description, from the Netherlands, blending death metal, deathcore, and hardcore together with synths and samples into a vicious mix of brutality and metal and melody that is sure to captivate fans of any style of metal. Apparently, he's got intense and energetic live shows in the Dutch metal scene. New album named Titanomachy promises to capture the energy of these live shows in 13 punishing tracks with lyrics dealing with the parallels between Greek mythology and current events. That's freaking cool, you know? What an inspired idea. There are a lot of parallels in mythology and today, current events and all that. It's really cool. That's a great idea, and I'm interested in checking out the lyrics. I don't see them here, but, you know, that's okay, because I don't have my lyrics on my thing either, on my Spotify and stuff. So, yeah. Let's see, I added them to my playlist, And man, as Plague, I would be interested in giving you 5 to 10 minutes to share a bit of your story, or what you're about, what you're doing. Sounds like you're making waves, and that's awesome. That's kick butt. Metal is crap, bro. Keep doing it. Now, let's see. That was only the third bucket pull. I don't know what to call it. I'm just trying to say something different than the show that inspired this idea. Third, chaos. Pull of chaos. All right. I don't know how many bands I put in here, but I know I put quite a few. I almost used a whole stack of sticky notes. All right. Let's go. Corrosive. That does not look like a metal band. There's no way that's it. It's got to be a different band named Corrosive. That looks like a boy band. Oh, I bet this is it. There's also a band, Corrosive with a K. This looks like the band I looked at earlier, I think. Yeah. Corrosive with 341 monthly listeners, and their track, The Holy Priest. That's a minute. Let's let it keep playing. Where's it going? Oh, I was going to stop, but that riff sounds sick. Let's go a little longer. All right, we'll stop there. That was sick. Brutal vocals. Yeah, just brutal everything. Very death metal-y. They even got a song called Hessen Death Metal. Don't even know if I'm saying that right. And they don't have an about section, really. That's okay. You might want to think about putting something there. But that was great. Sounded sick. I loved the riffage, sick stuff. So added it to my playlist. Not anything to read in the about section like I said, but some very interesting song names here. The White Witch, Savior of Damned Souls, Buried by Fire, Victim of Black Magic, For the Dead, Fairy Tale of a Devilish Witch. Some sick metal sounding stuff. So go and check them out, and I added them to the playlist. So let's keep it moving. And as the show progresses and stuff, maybe we'll have some interlude-y stuff, or you know what I mean, like some segments or whatever, between pulls from the cup of chaos. Now, burning the oppressor. Let's check it out. Sorry, you're hearing a bunch of typing sounds from my mic, and then my mic shakes because my desk shakes and stuff. Burning the oppressor. I think this is the band with the most listeners so far, 1,326. All right. Let's check it out. This is their song, Slayer Princess. Interesting. That's 60 seconds, a minute. Let's go a little bit longer because it's sick. I've never heard these bands before. They all got freaking kick butt riffs. Alright, we'll stop there just for the sake of time, but I could jam that. So, that was... it's great. Sounds freaking sick, heavy, and just... I love that riff, just chugging away and then throwing in some riffs in there, Sounds sick. Oh, they have a pretty big about section. I don't know if we'll read all of it, but... Let's read this. Burning the Oppressor is a group founded in 2012 by passionate musicians with different influences and armed with remarkable stage dynamism. I don't know if that's how you say that. With intense texts and brutal riffs, BTO puts into words and sounds the trials of modern life and the sufferings of a society in turmoil. Militant in favor of social equity and in the inclusion of all people, the band denounces discrimination and oppression through its work. Sick stuff. Strong from their experiences and numerous performances from the early days at the Montebello Rockfest Festival to the latter days at Heavy Montreal Festival, BTO's reputation is now stronger than ever. The band has taken the metal scene with strength and burned down each and every venue it has performed at. That's a good way of saying it. It proudly shared the stage alongside great bands such as Skeleton Witch, The Agonist, Beyond Creation. I think I've actually heard of that band. Jungle Rot, heard of them. The Browning, definitely heard of them. The Acacia Strain, heard of them. After the Burial, that's sick. The Black Dahlia Murder, another sick band. And Ginger, another sick band. That's pretty kick butt. Shared the stage with those guys. Awesome. Sick. I would love to, have some conversations with some of these bands, and that's why I plan to get set up within, hopefully the next week, and next weekend we can do another show, and go from there. But man, kick butt, that's crazy. I know sometimes Spotify monthly listeners aren't necessarily the way to measure a band's success. Just goes to show you how good Spotify is. No, I'm just kidding. That's sick. Great band, and I enjoyed it. Oh, I about didn't add them to my playlist. So the question I would ask is, what is the song Slayer Princess about? Burning the oppressor. What is that correlate to currently? Or what did it say? They write about things. Or is that the last band that said current events? I think all of these kind of, yeah, they said, they want to write stuff, relate to people today and stuff. Sick. Trials of the Modern Life. Yeah, that's what they said. So I wonder what that is about. That's what I would ask. All right. Man, gee, it's almost been an hour already. That's only 1, 2, 3, 5 chaos polls. Polls from the cup of chaos. Trying to think of an easier way to say that. 5 polls. That sounds a little weird. I keep catching myself looking. Let's just kind of mix it up and grab that one. All right. Gonna check out this band, Snake Mountain. There was another band called Snake Mountain Revival. All right. Snake Mountain with 138 monthly listeners. Looks like a full band too. Let's check it out. This is their song Veins. Let's keep going. Ooh, let's go a little longer. The leads. Back to that main riff. Man, that's sick. Great talent, like freaking sick leads and everything. I had to keep going because like anytime there's a pause and just some chugs, and just nothing else, I have to be like, okay, we have to listen to this, because they're building in something sick. That was amazing. So, add them to my playlist. I keep forgetting to do that before I go down to check out the About section. They just have this is all they have. What do you get when you cross face-melting brutality and 80s, 90s cartoon and movie references? Snake Mountain. See, that's fun, you know? I mean, the bands who are really intense about their about section and put all their accomplishments, I mean, like, great, good for you. But this is just funny. I'm not insulting those bands, you know? That was just a joke. Don't take it personally. I'm an artist. I know I take things personally way too much. So yeah, that was great. Sick band. Snake Mountain. Very like a tech deathy kind of thing, you know? That sounded great. Now let's see how many have we done now? Is it weird that like one day I hope that this is like a live show so I can be like, yeah, make some noise for this band or whatever, you know, and then have like a freaking live band just come out. I know that's probably really complicated, but that's the dream, okay? So, let's see, another pull from chaos. Isn't that a great name for this, though? Cup of Chaos, you know? Sick. I thought that was pretty clever. Maybe we'll just call the show that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Should we call it something else? If you have some ideas, let me know. Just shoot me a message or comment on this or something. Cerebral Desecration. Kind of rhymes with Cattle Decapitation, which is a sick death metal band. Bring back the plague. Decapitation. I wish I could scream like that guy. He does like a freaking crazy goblin scream sing thing. It's crazy. Cerebral Decapitation. Doesn't even pull up an artist. Okay, I gotta go to... Yeah, Cattle Decapitation is usually the next band after this search. What's with all the songs? Just, I don't know, some death metal bands really like just anything that ends with Asian. Stole my penetration, okay. Sounds brutal. Gee, this band's actually... No, wait a second. This isn't the right band. I mean, I'm sure they're great. They're 25,922 monthly listeners. Sorry, Cerebral Incubation. We're looking for Cerebral Desecration. Where is it? Did I write it down right? Cerebral Desecration. Oh, I put Cerebral Decapitation. It's so confusing. Decapitation, desecration, incubation. Come on, guys. Get a little more creative with your terminology. Cerebral. D-S-E-C. I know how to spell. I'm just double checking. Cerebral Desecration. Here we go. Alright, this band's 182 monthly listeners. Sorry, Cerebral Incubation. You guys got 25,000. That's more than me, okay? Alright. Suffer in Bliss. That's 60 seconds. Let's let it go longer than building stuff. Like that addition. Still feels like they're building. It's been 2 minutes. Give it a little bit longer. Alright, we'll stop there. Took a little bit to build. I understand some songs are just like that. And when you're a band and you're submitting, actually doing a submission for this show, that's going to be kind of up to you to, if you want to pick a long intro. You know, I don't want that necessarily to be the rule. It has to be 60 seconds. That's kind of just helping with the time frame. But like, if you're going to take 2 minutes to get into the actual song, then maybe pick a different song, okay? Something that gets into it a little bit quicker. I'm going to, just out of curiosity, play this song that has more streams. Maybe it's a little bit different. Just curious. Right into it. Yeah, that was more of like a less of a long intro. But sick. Yeah. Another sick band. I mean, great riffs, you know? It's a death metal from the deep in the 78666 of San Marcos, Texas, for fans of the Black Dahlia murder, Jungle Rot, Whitechapel, Cannibal Corpse, Cerebral Desecration. Wait a second. And you forgot to put a period after that. I thought you were naming Cerebral Desecration as another band you're fans of. Brings energetic death groove with impactful lyrics to every stage we play upon. Coming to a town or city near you. Are you, though? Are you coming to Nebraska? That's where I'm at. Great band. And sick death metal stuff, man. And you know, I'm trying to decide if I want to keep going or should I keep going or 3. That's only 6. Man, it's been like an hour now. And I plan to add interviews and stuff like that to this as well. Yeah, we were at 59 minutes and 31 seconds. So I think I'm going to end the show with this last. But we'll do one more, okay? One more. Alright. Last pull from the Cup of Chaos today is Derelict. I'm going to be working on some Fire from Heaven stuff right after this, and Gonna be live streaming that as well, probably. So if you're watching when this ends, don't go away. Okay, yeah, I got the right one because I remember the song name, Workhorse. Top song. So, all right, let's do this. This is Derelict, Workhorse. Let's go. 112 monthly listeners, by the way. Oh. That's a minute. Let's let it go a little longer. Back it up a little bit because they were going into something. That bass line sounds sick. Oh. So the workhorse fantasy and Westwood and Broadwood one day lead to something. This is the light you bought, rockstar and a barrel. Alright, that's good, I think. Sick. First 30 seconds of the song is just tapping and stuff. Not even any chugs or anything in the background, just tapping. It sounded like the bass was doing the same thing too. So it's sick, you know, switching it up, doing something different, I like it when bands do that, It doesn't always have to follow the pattern, do something different. Great job, Derelict. I like it. Add it to a playlist. It's not going to be a super big playlist until we kind of keep doing more shows, because it's going to be 7 tracks on it, but you'll be able to go check it out. And I'm going to, that'll be the last pull from the Cup of Chaos today. So, and to conclude, if you're a band, you want more info about this, like I'm planning on doing this in the future. I hopefully at least want to make it a weekly thing. So, if you want to be part of it in the future, or a band, you're a fan of a band that you think should be on here or something like that, reach out to them. I just need them to submit whenever they do all that, rather than fans, because I'm going to need things like their info and stuff, and that the fact that they need to kind of be present during the live, so that if they get pulled, I can interview them and stuff, and do all that. So, but if you know a band or an artist, or just even a musician who's got a phone, an instrument, and records it, that will qualify, okay? There's not a lot of rules here other than that you are doing some kind of metal music, metal rock. I'll allow exceptions for rock stuff too, because there's a bit of crossover there, and rock also sounds sick and heavy, and similar styles, you know what I mean? Metal and rock. So it's kind of like one big umbrella that a lot of different things fit under. So that's what we're doing, and maybe I'll put out like a short video or something explaining things when I get things more set up, and I'll probably share like a link to the place where you can do like a form, fill out the form, and submit everything for being part of the show. And I'll make clear the few things that are sort of like requirements, like criteria, you know, I guess they are requirements. Like I am thinking I'll make it a requirement that you be there if you're going to submit your show or submit your band or whatever. That you be present during the live, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise, I don't know. Still very off the cuff. I'm just riffing here. Just riffing with how I'm making this show. But, yeah. But you can email me at ffhfirefromheaven@gmail.com. And if you have any questions or ideas or whatever. And I will, you know, keep you posted on, you know, things like I'll either do a video or do like a YouTube post or something. And maybe I'll post on my other social media like Instagram, Facebook. I don't know. I kind of want to keep the record going. I haven't posted on there for like 80 or 90 days. See how long I can go. Anyways. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to mention. Not off the top of my head. So if I think of anything, I will do another video or something. Send out an email. But if you're even interested, just send me an email. Ask me to like put you on the email list. You know, to be like, you know, I'll probably just write down, you know, if you send me your email like, hey, can I get some more info when you get this figured out or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. I would love to be a part of it, you know, that kind of thing. Then just email me at that email. I put it in the description of this video. Just want to share music and get people out there that deserve to be heard, you know. There's a lot of people who haven't put it in the work, you know, and you can tell, but a lot of people are listening to them and it's like, man, this sucks. Why is no one just calling it out for what it is? It sucks, okay? And then there's a lot of bands that are freaking great, no one's listening to, okay? And that sucks. So, let's do something about it, okay? And I'm hoping to get a lot of band submissions. If I don't, you know, I'm still getting this up off the ground, still trying to get the word out. So if you're watching this, please spread the word to any musicians you know who are in the metal rock area or bands, solo projects, whatever. No criteria, you know, other than metal rock, you know what I mean? So if you know anyone, let them know. And it can just be, you know, for fun or whatever, even if they're, I mean, I'm hoping to get more artists who are actually serious about what they're doing and stuff. But if they're just people who play the instruments and just want to have some fun and record a video of them playing, you know, whatever. I'm desperate. No, I'm just kidding. But really want to get the bands who want to make a difference with what they're doing, want to inspire people with what they're doing, want to make people, you know, feel heard or motivated, whatever your motivation is for making music. You just love making music. Great. You know, I'm tired of all the annoying requirements and criteria. You have to have this mix or that mix. What are you, the producer police? Get lost. Maybe I'm going for an old death metal sound, you know, like some of these bands, okay? Get lost. You know? Some people actually, as it turns out, like to listen to that, okay? And some people in your audience would maybe probably like to hear that. So why is it always about you? Get banged! All right. Anyways, that's why we're doing this. I want bands to be heard, you know? A lot of work goes into making music. Even if you don't, excuse me, don't do it like the way I do, where I write everything myself, I produce everything myself, you know, all that. Even if you're a band, like you have to put a lot of money into it if you're going for studio time or whatever and having someone else record everything and do all the mixing and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of money, a lot of things that go into it. The least you could do is let us be heard, okay? So, stop with the rules, okay? Metal is about no rules. All right. I'm going to close with that. I hope you enjoyed this. stay metal. I want this freaking cup full next week. So please spread the word. I want submissions in the cup of chaos. It's gonna look cooler than that, okay? I'm gonna try and draw something cooler. Maybe my wife can or something that looks metal. It says cup of chaos. Should get it. Maybe I can just order one that's actually designed and everything. I don't know. Anyways, also, just want to mention this too. Like, I want there to be more opportunities after this. I don't want someone to be like, yeah, I made it onto the show. Woo! And then nothing happens. So I'm building a playlist. So if you like the music, go and follow the playlist. Share it. Tell other people to check it out so that it can become something where people can go. If I add a band, they'll actually get heard, and we want to change lives here, not playing no freaking games. And I just want to also put this out there, like, if you're on the show, I really, really like what you do. Like, some of these bands, if I had interviews with them, I'd be like, hey man, I want to do a song featuring your vocals or something like that, or featuring a guitar solo from you or something like that. Like, would you want to do something like that? Like, I want to offer some kind of opportunities, even though I'm an underground freaking solo artist myself. Like, let's help each other out a bit, Like, there's so many underground bands, and like, it feels like, we have this opportunity to be connected in this awesome thing with the internet, but everyone's disconnected. I understand the internet is very disconnecting in how we treat each other. We just have to not be dumb, okay? And use it as a tool to do something cool. I didn't even make that, can't even talk. I didn't even mean to make that rhyme, but it sounded cool, okay? Anyways, going to end here. Done ranting. Spread the word. I'll keep you posted. Don't freak out if you're a band or something. Like I said, you have a way to contact me now. Okay. So get a hold of me. I'll try to check my email consistently. No, I will. But just try to make the tag or something, or the headline not sound spammy, so I don't look over it. Be like, hey, I want to be part of your Riffin Fire show. I don't freaking remember the name of the show. That's how off the cuff it is, okay? That's what we're all about. Yeah! Okay, let's go. See you later.